Yeah, Engosa, you can off your video, please. Okay, so sorry, I didn't know that I was not charging my network, my Wi-Fi, so it just off. All right. So good to have Kola Wale back. All right. Okay, so just for purpose of, so let's go on. I did some recording, so we can share that later with Kola Wale for him to go through. Okay, so yes. Okay. So we spoke about what the first most important process is, which is to develop the project charter. So as we said, okay, Kennedy, I don't know if I was able to answer your question the other time. Hello, Kennedy, are you there? Hello, Kennedy, are you there? Yes, was I able to answer your question? Okay, all right. So back to that your question, all right? Like I was saying, if the project is already an existing project that is already ongoing, it simply means that the project charter has already been created. And I said that the document that can be changed is not the project charter we will consider, is the schedule management. The schedule management document that will be changed. Why? Because the aspect that is critical is the schedule aspect. All right. So that being said, then the only time that the project chart, so if for instance Omonile came, they did grabbing of the land. Now the project have not officially started, but the project document or the project charter has been prepared or documented or created. So in that kind of case, if in such a situation that it happens that the project charter automatically has been created and now the project have not started, Omonile came and grabbed the project or the land for the project, for example, now, and they gave another land, so automatically you are creating a new project charter. So that is why I told you that the only time I told you that the project charter cannot be changed. So, and I also said that in attempt to changing the project charter, it simply means you want to create a new project. So, which means if I decide to say, okay, we need to make adjustment because the new land they gave to us now is not in the same square meter with the one we had before, which means we want to start another project entirely. Because that land it makes the new project unique. Remember when we were discussing about the characteristics of every project? All right. So you can see that automatically that makes the new project unique. All right. Okay. So let's move on. So now, what are we to do when we are thinking of developing the project charter? All right. Irrespective of the kind of project we are working on, whether it's a big project or is a small project that we are working on. The project charter by default, we have said it contains all the high level information. Please take note of that word, high level requirement. When we use the word high level requirement in a project, please, what we are simply saying high level, we are simply, the word high level, note it in case you are studying your material, it simply means what? Summary. The word high level simply means what? Summary. So in this case, all the informations you have in your project charter are summaries of all the necessary details of the project. So it's not a well-planned document. All right, it can be a page document, it can be a two-page document, it can be like an agreement document that they just state the terms and conditions, what you need to fulfill, and they sign. It becomes a project charter because that document officially states clearly what the project is all about. Okay, so you can see that what are those things, whether big or small project, they are things or actions that should or that you will first carry out at the initial stage when you are thinking of that project charter. As you can see on the screen, the first action, you have to know who is your stakeholders. During, okay, let me quickly ask. Yes, Ewosa, who is a stakeholder? Because you said the first thing we to do is to identify a stakeholder. Yes, for because of caller that just joined us, who is a stakeholder? All right. I said that the first thing we are to do is to identify stakeholder. Now, my question now is who is a stakeholder in a project? Okay. All right. Yeah. Kola Wale, do you want to add to that? Who is a stakeholder? Okay. All right. That is key. All right. Uh, Take note. When you say the financials, all right. I want to believe you mean those that will spend the money. All right. Take note. That word financial or those that will spend the money in a project simply signifies what we refer to as a project sponsor. A project sponsor is that person, that organization, that man, that customer, that group of people that is going to give the project manager the money that they need to spend for the project. So that person becomes a project sponsor. All right. So now when we say a stakeholder, we are meaning everybody that have interest in the project, whether the interest is positive or the interest is negative. So they are all stakeholders. Okay. Now we're saying that in development of a project charter, which is the first official document that needs to be created for whether it's a small project or big project, you need to know the people who are the stakeholders. So which means who are you going to discuss with in order to prepare this project charter will be what the stakeholders. Now, if for instance in your company or a customer or somebody, another organization is giving you a project, all right, before the project charter will be created and agreed on, there's going to be some discussions that will be taking place, all right, between you and the project sponsor. So you'll be doing some findings, you'll be doing some research, you'll be finding out some major informations about the project so that you yourself will be so sure and confident that you'll be able to carry out the project. All right. So that aspect or that go back and forth before that project charter is signed is what we are talking about. So who are the people you are going to meet to discuss that? The owner of the project becomes a stakeholder in that case. So which means you may be discussing with the project sponsor, and now the project sponsor invites you because he knows that you are very good in project management, but he did not have enough information to share with you regarding the project. But because he's the one that will pay, now invite you and say, okay, um, he now invite you and say, okay, you know what, K, all right, I understand that you can manage this project. So we have a project we need to discuss. So the project sponsor invites you, and the details of the project, he now ask you to meet the head of social unit. That head of social unit, or maybe the head of human resources, or the head of accounting, or the head of IT, or the head of manufacturing, or the head of engineering department, that also the head of engineering department becomes also a stakeholder. So which means you must first and foremost, the moment the project sponsor invites you and start discussing a project with you, the first thing you should do is to know who are your stakeholders. Who are the people that have interest in this project? Let the sponsor show them to you apart from himself. So that why do you need to know those people who are the stakeholders or identify them is this number 2 point. So that you can meet with the stakeholders, so that you can have an understanding of the requirement, the scope, the risk, and the possible issues. So you can see this statement, we said the reason why you need to identify the stakeholders is all this. So that in your meeting of the stakeholders, right, in your meeting of the stakeholders, you are able to confirm their high level requirement. I remember I've defined what high level means. I said this word summary, so that you can have an understanding of what the summary of what the requirement they want is. Okay, what is the nature of work they want to do? What are the possible issues? They can also tell you the characteristics of the end product they want to achieve. You understand? What are the objectives? What are the all those little things you need to know about the project? That is why you need to meet those stakeholders. So the first thing that is done while you are developing a project charter is to do what? Meet or identify your stakeholders. And the reason why you are identifying your stakeholders is so that you can be able to confirm, discuss, find out, get, collect all the needed information about the project before you start. Remember, all the informations you will have before you start may not be too concrete. So all those information that you have gathered is now subject for you to use in planning. Okay, so take note of that. Now, when we are developing a project charter, what do we need to achieve? You can see on the screen, there's what we refer to as ITTOs. For those of us that have done project course before, what is ITTO? It simply means input, tools, technique, and output. ITTOs, you can see them: I, input; TT, tools and techniques; and output. Now, let me explain what this simply stands for. Input is saying that what do I actually need to be able to create the project charter? So input is seen as the ingredient you need to create this project charter, because it said develop. So what do I need to develop the project charter is input. So all these are the ingredients that is needed to be able to develop the project charter. Tools and techniques. How? Now I know the ingredient that I need. So how do I use those ingredients? So tools and techniques answer the question of the how. How do I use those ingredients? How do I use those things that I need? What are the things that I should do? I know I need all this information here to create the project charter. So how do I go about them? Is under tools and technique. Output simply means, oh, what do I want to achieve by this process? What is my mission for developing the project charter? So you can see these are the outputs. So output in this case is what you want to achieve. So you can see that the output simply states out project charter. But the process is what? Develop project charter. So which means by the time you are finished developing it, what you will have when it is signed, it becomes what? A project charter. Do you get it now? All right. So input simply means, oh, what I need, the ingredient to carry out this process. The tools and techniques simply means how I should go about them. What should I do? The physical thing I should do to achieve that. Then output is talking about what you intend to achieve, or the realization of what you are working on. Okay, so for the purpose of this class, we are going to discuss little of all these things at this stage. Then later on, we'll keep making reference to them. Okay, so now let's look at some of the inputs. In our input, we said the first input is the business document. The first input is what? The business document. The question now is, what is the business document? And what is the essence of the business document? Okay, so you can see it on this, you can see this first one. We'll refer to it as what? The business document. And now I'm asking, so when we say the business document, what are we actually talking about? So the business document is that document that simply captures what the business needs of the project are, and why the business or why the project is being backed upon. So the business document is automatically that document that explains the reason why the organization is embarking on the project. That is the business document. Now, why is this organization planning to embark on a project or on this particular project? What is the business perspective for them? Hence, the need of a business document. So the business document automatically, it is that document that captures, all right? It is that document that captures the business need, why the project was selected, the business value, the project objectives, why that particular project was selected, and what the company wants to gain from that particular project. That becomes what? The business document. Now, the business document is categorized into two documents. We have the business case, and we can see the business case, and we have the benefits management plan. Excuse me, sir, what you say business case, what do you mean? Yes, okay, let me just ask Kolawole, when we say a business case, what do we mean? Yes, when we say a business case, what do we mean? Okay, but can you hear me now? Hello, Kolawole, can you hear me very well now? Hello, Kolawole, can you hear me very well? Okay, what is a business case? Yes, okay, let me ask Joseph. Joseph, what is a business case from experience? All right. Okay. That is also correct. All right. So when we say a business case, all right, if a business document is that document that explains the reason why the organization is embarking on the project, now the business case becomes the financial justification, the proof showing the feasibility and the financial justification of embarking on that project. What is the company going to gain financially for embarking on that project is what the business case. All right. I hope Kolawole you can hear me. Is what the business case. And that is why you can see on the screen we said it explains the financial why. Yes, Egosa, quickly. Okay. I said the business case is that document that explain and gives or justify the financial reasons for embarking on that particular project. It shows the feasibility that this particular project is viable and is going to benefit the organization. That is what refers to as what the business case. Okay, so that is why you can see on the screen we said, or I said, it is what the financial why. What is the company going to benefit financially by or for embarking on this particular project? Okay, so that becomes what the business case. Ogami sir, good evening. Same to you, sir. How's your day today? I thank God. Okay, so that becomes what the business case. So you can see this small bag of money in this corner. So it's showing us that, oh, what are we going to get? Let's do a research, and see that we not just do this project in vain. What exactly are we going to benefit financially? Okay, from this particular project, it becomes the business case. It justifies the reasons financially. Okay, all right, that is the business case. Then the second document that forms the business document, remember I said the business document contains two other documents, which is the business case and uh, the benefit management plan. So the business case is the financial why, then the benefit management plan is the strategic why. Strategic in this context is, okay, we know that we want to make, there's possibility that we will make money, but apart from that, what other strategic reasons that we want to benefit apart from money? Some can be market share, some can be um, um, different things. Example, uh, I ask myself, I don't know if you have seen that advert of Access Bank combining or having partnership with the Federal Road Safety to train women on driving cars. That I saw that advert recently. All right, they push an advert, in conjunction, Access Bank in conjunction with Federal Road Safety, collaborating together to train women on how to drive cars. Now the question is, why do Access Bank want to start training women on how to drive cars? That is the strategic why. But they must have done their financial calculations. Okay, if we can see 2,000 women, we open an account for them. We can, they can use that account and be using for transaction and business. Okay, we can be getting one naira from SMS or this. They would have done that small calculation. Oh, if we have 10,000 women that is interested, or 20,000, it's a big deal for them. Or 5,000, they must have done their projection. That is the financial why. But now, the strategic why, in this case, why women? Why driving cars? What is the strategic benefit they will get by training women to come and drive cars? So if Access Bank, what is their primary banking? What is their primary business? Banking. So how does it now relate to teaching women how to drive cars? All right. So the strategic why, or what will benefit them strategically by teaching women how to drive car, becomes what we refers to as the benefits management plan, which become a strategic why. Okay, so that is the first document that must be looked into. So which means when you are now creating a project charter, there is always need for you to consider, why is the organization embarking on this project? Excuse me, sir, is it necessary? Yes. Is it very important? More important. Why is this organization? Remember, there are several people who embark on projects, may not be for the good reasons. So you must be very comfortable with the reasons why the organization is embarking on that project. So you must know why. And the summary of that why is in the business document, which justify the project objectives. What is it that the project or that organization want to achieve by embarking on this project? That is what refers to as the business document. So the business document is, why is it, what is the organization going to benefit? Why do they want to go to this project? What are the objectives? What is it they want to actually achieve? And we said that that document can be seen divided into two: the business case and what the benefit management plan. Then the second thing that should be considered is agreement. I told you there must be a documentation. There must be something that shows that that document is legal. You know, agreement can be written on a sheet of paper and everybody sign. It becomes an agreement. It doesn't have to be that, oh, a lawyer is the one that type it. All right. If, for instance, you are selling a new property or a new phone or something, where you say, give me a written note. A written note can be seen as an agreement. So there must be an agreement stating that you has been assigned the power, the authority to spend the resources of that organization to manage the project. So hence the need of agreement. It can be in a form of MOU. I believe in the case of that I said Access Bank and Federal Road Safety, maybe it's an MOU they sign, Memorandum of Understanding, that road safety, we want to gather women and train them. There must be a memo of understanding. That is an agreement. All right. There can be an SLA, service level agreement, maybe because as when you look at two different organizations, the service we want to offer here, let's agree on that service. Or it can be a letter of intent. Okay. So that is why, even if it's a family member, oh, the person did not have time to sit down and write, let the person send you email. A person is always busy, is in abroad. Yes, let's say type a document and send it through email for you so that it can be in your email. That is how important it is to have an agreement. I hope we get that, please. Should I go on? Any question? Should I go on? Any question, please? All right. Okay. So the next thing we should look at is, we have looked at the business document as an input. We have looked at an agreement. Then the next thing we should look at is EEF and OPA. EEF, please, all these are terms you will get used to later on as we discuss. So EEF simply stands for Enterprise Environmental Factors. Now, all these are big grammar. When we say EEF or Enterprise Environmental Factor, what are we actually talking about? We are saying that